Well, there were a lot of reactions following my latest video, some of which were the obligatory, "Your voice sucks! Get a new voice!" from, I don't know, trolls who crawl out from under their bridge whenever I make a non-LP video. Seriously, that seems to be a recurring theme I'm running into here. Well, all I can do is block those a-holes and hope that they don't make another account to troll me further. But whatever, that's not what I'm here to talk about. There were a lot of reactions, as I said. Some people agreed with me. Some people disagreed while using logic as to why they disagreed. But a lot of people were just, Smogon jumped the shark! Smogon sucks! Smogon's been happy! All that after I spent 12 minutes explaining why this wasn't the case. Which leads to my usual conclusion that people just pretend to watch my videos. Either they don't watch it at all, or they just watch 1 or 2 minutes of it, and that's about it. That would explain all the idiots who tell me, "Hey, great video, man!" when the video has been done processing for less than 5 minutes. Or, well, either they're not watching my video at all, or they're just stuck in this age-old mindset where every Uber has to be a legendary. Seriously, we're in 2011. I thought we were past the point where people believed that all non-legendaries were worse than all legendaries. Okay, let's get an example here. Blaziken got banned. Lots and lots of uproar from people, mostly people who don't use logic and are just, they just seem to say it's not legendary, why is it banned? So this month, it's Blaziken, and next month, it's probably gonna be the turn of Latios and Emerald Deoxys. And I'm calling it right now. No one will complain. Why? Because they're legendaries! And because they've been Uber before. Heck, call me crazy, but I'm under the impression that... Take Articuno, for example. How many non-legendaries that aren't banned are better than Articuno? 150? 200 maybe? So yeah, well, I wouldn't call it a freak accident, because even with the biggest freak accident ever, it wouldn't come close to happening, but let's say Articuno got banned for some reason or whatever. I think people would still complain less than what's been happening in the last few days, simply because it's legendary, and people can't seem to get out of their minds that stat total isn't everything. Abilities, moves, all of that matters when deciding tiering. Heck, why do you think QRAM sucks so much? It's probably... I don't know yet, because we don't have any Smogon usage stats yet, but we're looking at the possibility where QRAM will probably not be overused, not because it's too good, but because it's not good enough. And its base stat total is 660. That's almost on par with just about every version mascot out there, and yet it sucks that badly. Highest base stat total in standard play outside of Slacking and Regigigas, both of which have debilitating abilities, and it can't do a damn thing. If that's not living proof that stats aren't everything, I don't know what is. And I will gladly admit that when I first saw the news that Blaziken was going to be banned, my first instinct reaction was, what the fucking fuck? Because, like everyone else, I'm used to the Uber tier being made almost exclusively of legendaries and pseudo-legendaries. But after I'd done some research, in the end, I realized exactly what was going on, why this decision was taken, and I'm okay with it. I wouldn't say it was the easiest call ever. Stop stalling, Hippowdon! Jeez! Then again, I guess this is what Hippowdon does best, so... Guess I shouldn't complain, at least I'm gonna... No, I already used Reflect and whatever. Arcanine died from sandstorm damage, so I guess that... Yeah, I always love when abilities make things like that happen. But yeah, Arcanines died, so that means it's a third time, which is a lot less than I expected, to be honest, since we're almost at the exit. But as I was about to say, it wasn't the easiest call for anyone to make, I'm sure of that, but I can at least understand why they did it. I'm not good enough to say for sure whether I agree or not with it, but it's not as outlandish as many other people think it is. So, that was about all I had to say on the matter, and I'm going to shut up about it now because otherwise I'm just going to rant about it for the next 3 months. So let's talk about something a little more positive. As you may have seen on Cerebi yesterday, there's a new little something on the Pokemon's website that, well, it's basically a mini-game that you need a Pokemon Trainer Club account to access, and you're gonna need one of these accounts to access the Dream World, so you might as well create yours right now if you haven't done so yet. Anyway, there's this mini-game which is going to allow you to obtain one of the Dream World Eeveelutions, only one, however. The game, it's basically Breakout, but with a small twist. When you destroy blocks, there are those little orbs that come down, and you can either grab them or leave them be. There are many types of orbs. Some are power-ups, some are power-downs, I guess. And there are 7 types of orbs that correspond to each of the Eeveelutions. And at the end of the game, which is 4 levels long, once you beat all 4 levels, I think the way it works is that it takes all the orbs you've collected and then it picks one at random and you get the corresponding Eeveelution. You can either turn down the Eeveelution and try again, or if you're happy with what you got, you accept it. Once your decision is made, you cannot go back on it, so choose wisely. And as far as choosing wisely goes, I think there's only one logical choice, and that choice is, of course, Espeon. The only reason why anyone would ever want to use Espeon is because of its Dream World ability, which is Magic Bounce, which reflects like half of the moves in the entire game. Well, I'm exaggerating here, but it reflects an assload of stuff. It's basically a permanent magic coat. The magic coat as a move is completely worthless, but when you got something like that that's passive and permanent, you can't turn that down. So, if you have the patience and skill to go after this big prize Magic Bounce Espeon, go for it. Otherwise, well, I guess you might settle for something else. Obviously not Guts Flareon, because this is the trollest ability that has ever trolled. Yeah, let's give Guts to something that can't be burned, just for fun. Other good ones belong to Vaporeon and Leafeon, but Espeon is definitely the big prize. Definitely go for that one if you have the chance. And before you ask, no, you can't use it to breed more Dream World Eevees. The reason for that is because the prize Pokemon is male. Only females can pass down Dream World abilities, so you can't pass down the Dream World flag onto its progeny if you breed it with Ditto. So what this means is that basically you can use it to breed the other Eeveelutions, but out of all 7, you can still have only one Eeveelution with its Dream World ability. So I strongly recommend that you go after Espeon. Espeon's orbs are naturally purple, so those are the ones you should go after. Oh, I think we're done here! Yes! Finally I'm done with this gauntlet of shit, and oh, I'm so happy. We're not quite done with this cave yet because there's yet another item that I'm gonna go after. But after that, I'm going to finally be done with this accursed cave. And now that I think about it, you probably noticed it too because of how many videos I spent in this freaking room. But this room alone took as much time as the rest of Victory Road. This is how much that Arcanine sucked, people. And ow, that's a lot of damage. Critical hit. That freaking hurt. I guess since this place is full of water types, now that I don't have infinite healing motherfucker anymore, I'm going to send Zapdos in the lead, and Depending on how I feel when I reach Route 224, I might bring Cresselia back, but I'm not sure because right now Zapdos is going to need some love and experience soon. But I'd say overall it was worth it because my Cresselia gained 7 levels out of this whole ordeal. 7 levels, that's not nothing, especially when you consider that Cresselia was just freshly caught. It didn't have many EVs, almost none at all in fact, and on top of that, its offense is average. It's not disastrous, but it's still average. So those 7 levels I gained in there are definitely going to be a huge plus. Are we gonna make it? Yes! No more Victory Road! No more Victory Road! No, wait, that's a lie. I'm gonna have to come back in, go into that room, because there's something. There are 2 trainers that you can't get to while Marley is with you because you need Surf. But there's also an item that you need Surf to reach, and you can't fault me for going after it, okay? You wanna know why? You wanna know why? Another freaking critical? Are you kidding me? Oh well, I guess it's part of the game whether it goes my way or not, so I should stop complaining about it and get on with the program. So, as I was saying, you really can't fault me for going back into this room from hell, because the item I'm going to go after is leftovers. Yep, the be-all, end-all item for in-game purposes, leftovers, is in that room. Fortunately, it's not very deep into it, and hopefully the encounter rate while surfing is lower than while walking. And since I'm not playing black and white, it's probably the case because, God, the encounter rate late in black and white is just freaking absurd. I've heard horror stories about Charged Stone Cave, but I don't think that's the worst of it. The sea routes next to New Vema Town are... the encounter rate is out of this world! I have both of Frillish's sprites burned into my retina from seeing them so damn much. And the worst thing about that is that they're like level 5, 10, 12, so they give so little experience for my team that's in the high 40s that it's not even worth wasting PP on them. That's right. In black and white, they're worth so little experience when you're that overleveled that I'm not killing them. That is how little experience they give. I've seen one of them, I think it was a level 11 or 12 one, give me in the single digits. Single digit experience. That isn't even worth the PP or the few seconds it takes to fire off the attack and kill the target for like 8 experience points. So I will pass. And what's worse is that you only gain the ability to surf after the 6th gym. So you'd expect the Pokemon you can encounter while surfing to be at a decent level, right? Wrong! Pretty much everything you meet while surfing is below level 20. I'm dead freaking serious. So, oh god, a Roselia. If I use Fly, I get the risk of getting poisoned by Poison Point, and I don't want that to happen, so there you go. It's all yours, Cresselia. But as I was saying, at this point of the game, you're like level 45. You won't get pennies on the dollar for experience here. What were they thinking? At least in the other games, on the sea routes, you had levels that actually sort of matched where you were at in the game, but here, it seems black and white completely dropped the ball. And it's a shame, because if the encounter rate weren't so high and the levels weren't so low, those sea routes would actually be pretty fun and involved. Now, don't get me wrong, I love black and white, but it's just one minor pet peeve I have with that. So I'm just gonna bring Cresselia back into the lead, and I'm gonna finish that there. So I'm gonna continue Route 224 next time.